these developments we're seeing in the United States. And you can see there in Washington, D.C., this is the formal part of the proceedings. Thousands of military personnel and vehicles and aircraft marching through, flying over the Capitol in the United States, a parade celebrating the 250th anniversary of the US Army, also Donald Trump's birthday, incidentally, 79 years old. We're seeing those live pictures at the moment from Washington, and we're just hearing they're about to rise for the singing of the national anthem.
That's right. Tom, this is a parade, as you say, there to celebrate the Army's 250th anniversary. I've just got some notes here on what's actually expected here in this parade as the national anthem goes. As we listen to the national anthem, there are more than 6,000 troops, Tom, 150 vehicles and some 50 aircraft expected to be taking part in this military parade. This is a one-day event. Now, there's been some controversy over how much it costs as well. It has been reported that it's going to cost something like $45 million. And it's been criticised that, why would anybody want to spend that much on a one-day event?
Indeed.
As the rest of the nation suffers from a cost of living crisis. Yeah.
The largest military parade, I should note, in the US in decades as well, Fowles. So this is quite an unusual and, as you say, incredibly expensive event. They're the formal proceedings. As this is happening, tens of thousands of Americans feel differently, it seems. They're marching through the, not Washington, I should note, because this is going on, but other major cities in the United States, and the largest protest effort against Donald Trump since his re-election in January. Very much tied to this event, though. They're called the No Kings protests, taking place very much against this backdrop of intensifying fears of political violence. And that comes after we've had other breaking news in the United States this morning. 2 Democratic politicians and their spouses shot in Minnesota just hours before those rallies.
That's right. And there you can see there the President Donald Trump there right next to the First Lady Melania Trump. Donald Trump is expected to deliver an address, a nationally televised address a little later in the day after the parade. Do you know what's also interesting is after the aircraft display, 2 parachuters are expected to parachute.
It's a flag, right?
And hand over a flag to the president, and then he will address the nation. The weather doesn't look so good, though.
Doesn't look too good for that, but Flag
Day. It does hold out.
Indeed, Flag Day as well, marking the day that the decision was made as to what was going to be on the US flag. So.
Let's go to our North America correspondent, Kamin Gock there, who's in Washington on the sidelines of that parade. Kamin, I was just watching these pictures coming in a little earlier too, and this really is a showcase and a celebration of the 250 years of the US Army, isn't it? We saw the parade showcasing the history of the Army. What struck out for you in particular?
Well, Fausia, during this cross you might see some tanks behind me, but what's stuck out is the sheer volume and prowess of the US military and the US Army. We have seen people dressed up in historic and modern present-day uniforms. We've seen a cavalry unit, artillery units, there's been flyovers, there was even a dog that was barking very cheerfully. Crowds have lined kilometres of this stretch where they have put up barriers in place to see this spectacle. All in all, there's 7,000, nearly 7,000 troops here to mark the 250th anniversary of the US Army. There's approximately 150 vehicles, 50 airplanes, and that includes, Abrams tanks, which we see in Ukraine, warplanes. There is a large amount of a different array of military assets that we are seeing showcased. The President himself will have someone parachute down and deliver him a flag, and that's also to mark that today is Flag Day, the official day that the United States confirmed what the American flag looked like. Passing along me now, which you'll see shortly, are some tanks. Several, I can see about a dozen tanks that are walking through. You can actually see the tread on the tanks have been padded, particularly to hopefully protect some of the roads here in DC, because they weigh tons, something 30 tons, potentially more from memory. And so they've padded them to try and minimise the damage that they will do on the DC roads because these roads aren't built for tanks. I actually believe that they weigh far more than the number I just said. But this is quite extraordinary, and the crowd is enraptured by this scene of this grand military parade. There are helicopters behind it, several tanks as we cross to you right now. But this parade itself will cost a fair bit as well. It's expected up to $45 million US dollars, which is equivalent to about 70 million Australian dollars. And some in America have criticised how much this costs, but many people here I've spoken to have said you can't put a cost on those who've served this country, who've lost their lives for this country, and they want to celebrate this anniversary. But it is also President Donald Trump's 79th birthday here. You can hear the crowd right now as an army man waves to the crowds inside this enormous tank. It's quite extraordinary to see just the number. It feels like a continuous conga line of military assets, and the display is quite extraordinary. And that is why so many people have travelled all around the country to see this. I spoke to someone who travelled from Houston, another person who came from Missouri, who both either had served or they have family members that served for the United States. But it is the president's also 79th birthday, and that has drawn criticism. Democrats have accused him of making this a vanity project for him. We have seen hundreds of protests around the country critical of the president's actions during his second term in the office, but also his use of the military in recent days with these protests. But given the people here, many people, whilst there are MAGA hats speckled throughout the crowd, many people here are here to support the US Army and to celebrate those people and commemorate those people that they know that have lost their lives as well.
All right, Kamin Gock there reporting for us from Washington, D.C. on the sidelines of that parade in the U.S. Capitol. There you can see the tanks rolling in, as Kamin
spectacle, isn't it?
Saying there that the treads, there are actually treads right around those tanks so that they don't actually chew up the U.S. Capitol's roads as well. It's quite an impressive military parade that's happening there in the United States. As Kamin said, there's some 7,000 troops, 150 vehicles, 50 aircraft, all part of the military parade. Of course, it coincides with the man of the moment, the U.S. President Donald Trump's 79th birthday as well. Yeah.